I am Jeff Luther, and the host of your new favorite podcast, the Inspector Alliance. This is where we'll peel back the curtain and get behind successful service industry businesses to see just what makes them tick. We're going to focus around the home inspection business. That's what I've built. I've owned it for a little over 20 years now. But we'll also include other service businesses that might parallel ours so we can learn more. And the more we know, the better off we are. Everyone has been on the edge of their seat since our last episode, wanting to know what decision we were going to make around our referral source and the callback we had, or the complaint, or the opportunity, or whatever you want to call it. So I'll start out this way. Let's imagine for a minute that we're going to spend marketing dollars to provide a lunch to a group of referral sources. Okay. We know we're going to have 30 folks in a room. So let's say 30 folks, we average about $15 per person, all said and done. So what's that? We're going to spend $450 to get in front of a group of 30 folks to speak for, let's say, 30 minutes, a 30-minute lunch and learn. Show that we're the expert. I can take that group of 30. I can divide the room in half immediately. So I know half the people in the room simply don't like me. They're not going to work with me, whatever the case may be. So there's 15 folks left in that room that I have an opportunity to work with. Of those 15 folks in that room, half of those people actually do business, or are active, working regularly, and are going to be in a position to be able to refer someone to my organization relatively soon. So that leaves us 7.5 folks. Of the 7.5 that pass our name along, half of those, their clients are actually going to call us to give us a shot. So that puts us at what? Let's say for round numbers, 4 people. So we have 4 folks in a room that are 4 folks out of this 30 in a room. Their clients actually call us to give us a chance. Half of those are actually going to do business with us. They like our price. They like the way we work with them on the phone. They like what we're peddling. They like what we have to offer. They have a good feeling. They're going to do business with us. So out of those folks in the room, let's say, and I'm being generous here, let's say 2 of those people end up working with us, doing business with us, and we book an inspection. Our average fee, we're probably around $800. For our average, we operate at about a 7% profit margin. So we're at $1,600, 7% of that. We're at, what's that going to be? Somebody do that quick math for me. What are we? 42, about 128 bucks. I don't even know where my phone is. Anyway, we're at about $1,600, and 7% of that is going to be 70, 42. $120, right? $112. So we're going to net. That is our net profit off of that $450 investment is going to be $112. So 7%, we're beating the market, I guess, right? But that's kind of how I figure out what I use in terms of marketing dollars, how I figure out our spend. Now, I want to use that as a segue to go into this complaint, or this issue that I had talked about last week. All right, so we had a referral source. Everyone saw the complaint or the issue. The issue was that someone thought that we had 3 HVAC units listed on our inspection report, when in actuality there were 4. They negotiated to have 3 replaced or repaired, and moved in and found out there was a 4th, and they were upset. They didn't know there was a 4th. It was very evident, and I outlined several times in the podcast showing our inspection report that there were 4. It was an oversight on the agent's part, an oversight on the client's part. I totally get it. For those of you out there that are home inspectors, we have to have a little bit of empathy, right? We do this every single day. For us, we're doing this upwards of 100 times a week. We look at these reports all the time. We know them forwards and backwards. For agents, particularly for clients that don't buy houses often, it's like reading Chinese. They don't understand the nuances of the report. So we want to have some compassion there. Now, we could just say, hey, look, we showed you there were 4, but we want everyone to have a good experience. So the first thing I'll do is go through with this particular agent. That was our referral source. They've referred us 7 different times in the course of the last 12 months. Total inspection fees come out to a little over $8,400. Remember, we operate at about a 7% margin, give or take. So that comes out to about a $590 profit on this agent over the last 12 months. This doesn't include the lifetime. This is the last 12 months. So that $589 of profit beats what we would spend to get in front of a group of 30 agents. That's kind of how we gauge this. So here's what we ended up doing. Here was our marketing choice. And we do have marketing dollars that's associated towards these goodwill gestures as well. We ended up refunding back a portion of their inspection fee. It was a $265 inspection fee. And I've got to tell you, the agent was ecstatic. They were so excited that we were willing to contribute anything. It was a feel good for the agent, but more important, the agent was getting some of that cost back to their client. And the client was over the moon excited that we were willing to contribute anything. For them, it was money that was already lost, and now they're getting a little bit back. So it pays off really well for us to have that small gesture of goodwill in being empathetic, or in saying, hey, look, I understand we did what we were supposed to do, but I also understand we probably could have helped you offer maybe some questions or to answer some questions. And maybe it's part of our training. We can use this as learning for us going forward, how to read inspection reports. But we also want you to know that we appreciate your business. We want you to know that we appreciate all the referrals that you've given us over the years. And we want you to know, as well as your client, that we care about you guys. And we'll share a little bit in this whole saga. I'd also like to mention that there are times when folks like this agent are paramount in referring our organization, our marketing folks, on to bigger and better things. Just so happens that this agent referred us to our local board of realtors. So we have a speaking engagement with our local board of realtors for new agents coming into the market. So this pays off huge for us. It's not always so cut and dry. I'll challenge anyone out there on your way of thinking about, I have to be right. It's not really about being right. It's about developing partnerships. It's about being a partner. It's about understanding the nuances of everyone's job and figuring out some ways to meet in the middle. I also will say I'm not condoning or promoting that we give away the candy store either. I always kind of look at this like I've got my kids beside me when I'm settling these things. I don't want my kids to ever see me be to stonewall people, to be so set in my ways I'm not willing to bend. And at the same time, I don't want my kids ever seeing me being taken advantage of, or my company being taken advantage of. I want them to learn those lessons as well. I'd like my kids to see someone being empathetic and trying to work and see all sides. So that's how we came to that conclusion. It'll definitely pay off for us. It's all kind of part of it, building these partnerships, making everyone's life a little bit better, a little bit easier, and seeing the long-term goal. It's not only is it a marathon, it's an ultra, but it's an ultra that also has a lot of series of little sprints. And I intend to be in this race for the long term, and I want to develop partnerships with folks that intend to be in this race for the long term. I hope this is helpful. I appreciate the comments, I appreciate the emails, and if there's anything that I can do for you out there, please let me know. If anybody wants to email me to get a copy of our inspection release, to get a copy of our release and indemnification agreement, that's what we use on every claim that we settle, feel free. I'm Jeff, Jeff, at home-probe.com. If you like this material, click the button down there and subscribe. and keep following along. And until next time, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's helpful in your business. Can't wait to see you again.